Imagine hosting a Super Bowl party, right? You've got 4 screens perfectly tiled on your living room wall.
Oh man, that is like the absolute dream setup.
Exactly. But then one screen just lags. You get this 3-second blackout right as the game-winning pass is thrown.
Yeah, I mean, that is a total nightmare.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that agonizing 3-second blackout is exactly what the $1,500 WolfPack 1080p 16 by 16 seamless HDMI video wall matrix switch was, built to eliminate. So, welcome to our custom deep dive into this heavy-duty hardware from HDTV Supply.
Really glad to be here.
Today, our mission is to cut through all the heavy AV jargon and figure out how high-end video distribution actually works. We want to know what makes this specific unit tick and, well, why it commands that price tag for your setup.
Yeah, to justify that investment, we really have to look past the standard specs.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because the sheer scale of connectivity here is just wild. We're talking 16 HDMI inputs and 16 outputs, all at 1080p, 60 hertz.
Right, plus 16 separate 3.5 millimeter audio channels.
Yeah, so it is basically the ultimate digital traffic cop. It's just seamlessly directing traffic between 16 different cable boxes or consoles up to 16 different screens for you.
Yeah, that traffic cop analogy is totally spot on. True matrix switching means any input can go to any output completely independently, but the sheer volume of data moving here is where the engineering really has to step up.
I mean, pushing that many streams at once has to demand some serious pipeline capacity, right?
No, absolutely. That is why this unit operates on a massive 10 gigabits per second bandwidth.
Wow, 10 gigabits.
Yeah, because without that massive highway, you just hit immediate data bottlenecks. Managing 16 outputs that resolution takes a ridiculous amount of processing power.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because moving video traffic is one thing, but the speed of it is the real pain point. They claim 100 millisecond seamless switching. But I mean, does a fraction of a second delay actually matter in the real world?
Well, think about the dreaded HDMI handshake.
The agonizing black screen.
Exactly. What's fascinating here is how it actually fixes that. That handshake is just a copyright protection protocol, HDCP, verifying the secure connection.
Right.
Standard switches physically drop the old signal to establish a new handshake with the new source.
And that forces you to just stare at a blank screen for, what, 2 or 3 seconds?
Right. But the WolfPack bypasses that interruption entirely. It achieves that 100 millisecond seamless switch by using continuous memory buffering.
Wait, how does that work mechanically?
So the matrix doesn't wait for you to switch channels to start reading the data. It actively holds the current and next frames of all 16 inputs in its internal memory all at once.
Oh, wow. So it's constantly reading everything.
Yes. When you press a button to switch from, say, a gaming console to a cable box, the hardware simply changes which memory buffer it's outputting to the screen.
Meaning the physical HDMI signal never actually drops.
Exactly. So the HDCP handshake never drops either.
That is wild. So it essentially tricks the display into thinking the source never changed at all.
Precisely. And having that constant synchronized buffer of all 16 streams opens the door to the built-in video wall processing. You aren't just sending one feed to TV number 4.
You can actually tile multiple TVs together to act as one giant display, right?
Yeah, think of it like a live-action jigsaw puzzle. The hardware is dealing the pieces to 16 different screens simultaneously.
That's a great way to picture it.
Because the processor is already buffering every frame of video in real time, it mathematically slices a single high-definition image into perfectly timed quadrants.
And then distributes them across multiple monitors without any visual tearing or lag between the screens.
Got it.
But I mean, dealing 16 live puzzle pieces requires a serious control mechanism. Pushing buttons on a front panel works for a commercial server room, but so what does this all mean for a normal environment?
Well, the spec sheet throws out terms like RS-232, a web GUI, and a dedicated app. The RS-232 port is critical if you are integrating this into a high-end smart home ecosystem.
Like a Control-4 system or something.
Exactly, where the matrix becomes entirely invisible to the user. But for everyday control, the app and web GUI are where this gets incredibly practical.
That makes sense. So instead of needing an IT degree, a sports fan can just open the app on their phone, drag and drop 4 different college football games onto their living room video wall.
And instantly snap them into place, yes.
Yeah.
It brings commercial-grade AV routing down to an intuitive, tactile interface.
But what if someone gets totally lost setting it up?
That is the best part. Real people are using this, and HDTV Supply backs this up with actual human support. They have been in business 25 years, maintain a 96% top-tier review rating, and run a toll-free 833 WolfPack helpline.
Oh, yeah, like that one customer review from Doug W. He loved the product but got totally confused by card versus credit card at checkout.
Right. It is such a relatable review. It proves that despite the intimidating tech, it's backed by accessible human support. You aren't just buying the hardware.
You're buying the technical safety net. It really proves that having massive, commercial-grade video wall capabilities at your fingertips is no longer restricted to stadium control rooms or corporate lobbies.
It's migrating directly into our homes, which completely changes how we interact with media.
Totally. Which leaves us with a final thought for you to mull over.
Hmm.
With massive 16 by 16 video matrix systems becoming this controllable and accessible, well, how long until you view the traditional single living room TV as a relic of the past? Definitely something to think about before you plan your next home theater upgrade.